Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. It is a 1 vs 1 on Echo Isles. It is a Warcraft 3 ArenaNet top replay. And up on the right side, we have our red Night Elf player, Foggy. And on the left side, we have our teal human player, Ze1ko. We're going to speed this up to the 8x mark, to the 2-minute point of the game, and all the heroes come out, and all the good stuff starts to happen. This is also a Moo Cup game. We're going to have an Archmage out for our human player, and a Warden for our Night Elf. Tons of militia rushing towards Foggy. We'll see what he does with that. I always love to see a Warden start in games as a... well, the Warden is my favorite hero. For the Night Elf, gets a Talisman of Evasion. Not too bad for the Warden there. And better off in the Warden's hands than in a Demon Hunter's hands, I suppose. And here comes the human rush now. Militia nearly out of militia power. So instead, they will start towering up. And now we have some Wisps coming along here to dispel and heal up some of these Moonwells. And now with the Elementals gone, Foggy will have an easier time cleaning this up. However, a couple towers up and coming here. Archmage trying to run for his life, getting hit by Shadow Strike. And level 1 Shadow Strike, not that great. But once you hit level 2 and beyond, Shadow Strike starts to become really good. And Ancient War coming up right on the edge of the base there. Might actually end up uprooting that and attacking the towers. We'll have to see what he does and how he gets himself out of this one. Ancient War coming up on the right side too. No Hunter's Hall by the looks of it, so can't really make Ancient Protectors. Another Ancient War down in the bottom there with the creep camp, so he should have 3 Ancient Wars here really soon, so that would be enough to pump out quite a bit of archers to take care of this should he need, or even just turn them into defensive barriers. And so far, so good for Ze1ko. Just 1 tower has made it up, but it is complete, and now the peasants, rather, are repairing it up, and this one looks like it will complete as well. So now 2 towers against Ze1ko. So now the heat is on for sure. Troll Berserker's out, and Troll Berserkers have a ton of damage in the beginning of the game. 16 to 18 for an archer, 28 to 37 with an average attack speed as well. So the Troll Berserker at the start of the game is super good. And now the Troll Priest has fallen there for Foggy. And Foggy in a bit of trouble now. Footman running around where he shouldn't be. And took way too many hits from the Ancient War and Tree of Life there. Stumbling on my own words. And therefore that Footman got thrashed a little while ago. And now with all the archer creation ability of Foggy and all these Ancient War down here is running. And 1 Ancient of War goes down, but still leaves Foggy with 2. And 3 Ancient of Wars is something you don't see every day. So that was just merely a distraction for these towers for now. Towers etching even closer. Guard tower coming up here, another guard tower. And would like to see an Arcane Tower. Arcane Tower does have that 800 range, although very little damage against the archers. Does do that extra damage when it destroys the mana of a hero, or anything with mana for that matter. So just 1 in the mix is always a good idea. Destroy that mana, less Shadow Strikes on the Archmage as well. And meanwhile, the Warden could be getting a second hero, or actually harassing the town of Ze1ko right now, but instead defending his base. And now here comes the Warden from behind. We'll have enough mana for a Shadow Strike on the Archmage should he choose to use it for that. And getting really low now. It is nighttime though. Could Shadow Meld and hide, but that would keep him locked in place.
Player's forces are under attack.
And now Foggy's main base here main Tree of Life, that is. I suppose his base has been under siege for a while now. And Tree of Life not doing too hot here. Gonna actually creep, try and get that level 3 for that level 2 Shadow Strike, which is so good. And did claim that level 3. And tons of archers and damage here for Foggy, so he certainly is not low on damage. And now the Tree of Life falls. And what will Foggy do about that? And looking pretty grim. If I was in Foggy's situation, God, I don't even think I would know what to do exactly, but Foggy, a very lifelong player of Warcraft 3, probably just another walk in the woods for him. And an Arcane Vault is going to be constructed up here. Archmage dies to Shadow Strike, and that is exactly why Shadow Strike is so good. And that level 1 Shadow Strike would not have caused that, but that level 2, just enough to chip away at his health and chip away faster than his regeneration. Arcane Vault now completed, but honestly sort of useless now that the Archmage is dead. So we'll see. Looks like a footman is going to be running towards the tavern. He's going to tavern revive the Archmage. And now the Ancient of War is going to be eating some trees, and Peasant's going to be hacking away with some pickaxes, but not going to be enough to take it down without that Archmage round. If anything, it is just a detriment trying to attack that, because it's just going to be regenerating. So he's just going to have to sort of hide for now until that Archmage is back. And he did not tavern revive the Archmage. He just simply ultra revived. And he is level 1, so it's very cheap and very quick to revive a level 1 hero. Every level you go up, it gets more expensive and takes longer. So it makes sense that he just ultra revived that Archmage and not tavern revive. Would have been slightly faster for a tavern revive, but you do start with no mana and half health, and it does cost more too. So just trying to save some of them bucks. He's Costco shopping. This time he's trying to save some money. He doesn't want to go to the Whole Food store and pay $8 for a bag of potato chips. He's gonna go to Costco and get himself that big bag. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I was just rambling. I recently got a Costco membership. My wife did. And Costco's so awesome. Have you guys ever been to Costco? It's amazing. Warden now running away. Did take away that town hall, though, which is definitely extremely important for Foggy here. Keep that second base away. However, Tree of Life coming down at the bottom, and could be a huge mistake for Ze1ko to not scout down there. It does look like he has a unit down in the bottom here. This footman may have seen this. Either that or this footman was already down here before this actually got constructed, so he may have never actually seen any of this. Let's actually take a look, and we'll take a look at Ze1ko, and no, he does not know. He doesn't see it at all. So for all his knowledge, there is no expansion, and this is all that is left for him to take out. A couple of Moonwells and an Ancient of War, so that's what he's working on currently. And honestly, not even really teching that well, just now getting his keep, which makes sense because all of these towers, of course, are quite expensive to construct. And of course, with plenty of peasants basically idle. And so now Foggy just going to bide his time. And with this Tree of Ages, is that Tree of Ages a little too far away from that? Kind of looks like it. Not sure. But this footman definitely sees it now. Uh-oh. And he sees that there is a totally nice expansion here going on. Already developed. Defending footman now going to be pushing away these archers, trying to take out these Moonwells here. But as they take out the Moonwells, the archers can simply just try and kite and try and get some damage in on these footmen. Footmen defending here, and will absorb quite a bit of damage before it goes down. But once again, Ze1ko forced back, and kind of weird. I'm not actually sure who this is. I'm sure it's somebody I know. A lot of people on Warcraft 3 ArenaNet use like some kind of surname or something like that. And it sounds familiar. I've actually casted, I think a couple times, on a few occasions, a player named Ze1ko, who I actually kind of like. He was actually a pretty good player. So I don't know if that's supposed to be Ze1ko or not. Just with maybe a different name, a different way to spell it or not. FRA, maybe Franzese, I'm not even really sure. We'll have to see. Maybe someone in the comments might actually know who that is. It could be Ze1ko, or it could be just somebody named Ze1ko. And obviously he's pretty good. You have to be pretty good in general, even to tower rush somebody like Foggy. So either way, because tower rushing may seem easy, but when you're doing it against somebody like Grubby or Foggy or anybody like that, definitely not particularly easy. Lumbermill coming down here, and I'm kind of wondering what that is all about. Maybe just to block off the gold mine a little bit, but we'll have to see what he plans to do with that. Or maybe just going to use it as some extra defense.
A player's forces are under attack.
He does need lumber, so these peasants here are going to be actually using this lumbermill to drop off lumber. So nothing too crazy there. I thought there was some kind of menacing decision behind that lumber mill, but not at all. Just going to be dropping off some lumber as he is fairly low on lumber. Mountain King now out, second hero for Ze1ko. And Marketplace is open and ready to rock. I don't know if he bought anything. He does have 2 potions of healing that he could have just simply bought from his own arcane vault, so I'm not sure if he actually bought anything from this Marketplace or not. Does have a potion of invulnerability, but that may have dropped. I'm not really sure. So either way, does have that potion of invulnerability on the Mountain King. Archmage takes a level 2 Shadow Strike there. And a Lightning Shield on a Footman there will force that one Footman to back off a little bit so he doesn't damage his own peoples. That's a real word, peoples. Plural people. More than just people. Archer's now coming along. Panda out as the second hero. Got that Tree of Ages real quick. And so now with the second Panda, or rather the second hero out, Foggy definitely has a chance in this. Now going to bring up that Town Hall, but unfortunately this is kind of not a particularly good Town Hall position. These peasants are going to have to kind of wander around to get to that mine, but I suppose better than not mining at all. And Foggy going after the Ogre Magi camp. And double Troll Berserkers too. And so it takes on that Ogre Magi super quick. Collective attack +6 for that Panda. And Tome of Strength for the Mountain King here. Warden on scout duty. Does have enough for almost 2 Shadow Strikes. And I was thinking you might get a Shadow Strike there. Little sneak strike. But the Archmage is going to be coming along again. Going to be in range here. And where is that Shadow Strike coming? Going to be the Murloc Nightcrawler camp here. Oh my, I got caught up on my own words again. Oh, that happens a lot. Talking is hard. You know, it's one of those things where, like, I put it up there with, like, balance beams and doing backflips, and then there's talking. Talking is hard. Well, so that Murloc Nightcrawler camp there was a total failure, and at the same time got hit by a Shadow Strike and all of the archers and berserkers. And it looks like he really wants that Nightcrawler camp. Let's see his levels. He could get level 2 Mountain King and probably a level 3 Archmage as well. So that camp right there is absolutely vital. And if Foggy lets him get that, he'll have to be dealing with some higher level heroes here soon. But might just be able to get that level by taking out some of Foggy's units. And now get that level 2 Mountain King. That level 3 Archmage is on the way. Level 3 for the Archmage is very, very good.
Player's forces are under attack.
The reason being is you get that level 2 Water Elemental, which has about 80% more damage than the level 1 Water Elemental, so it's quite a jump. Mountain King not gonna make it here. Gonna go die in the corner like a good Mountain King. Meanwhile, the Footmen are coming on in. Tree of Life has been grown at the gold mine here, and now it is just whacking away at the units. And not a good place for Ze1ko to be fighting, as that Tree of Life does pretty tremendous damage per hit. It has a pretty slow attack speed, so its DPS overall isn't that great. But every hit is just a ton of damage off of these units here. And now building those wisps, gonna sit there and expand away. Yeah, as you can see, these peasants have a slightly inefficient route here going to the gold mine. I think he has, is that 6? Yeah, it looks like he has 6, though, so that makes it much more efficient with the extra added distance. And Dryads here pumping out 2x2 out of the Ancient Allure. So Foggy is definitely not short on gold or lumber for the most part. Only 93 right now, but that's just because he has a ton of Dryads building. It may stop now. And Sorceress won't make it there. Will get taken out by the Warden. 2 circlets of nobility on that Warden and boots of speed. And now the Archmage takes a level 3 Shadow Strike. And is doing a ton of damage on him. And a blink there for another Shadow Strike. Archmage desperately trying to get away. Does have a potion of healing that he should pop here pretty soon. And enough for another Shadow Strike here shortly. Sorceress, invisible Archmage. And we'll be able to make it away due to that. Just barely gets by. And I'm really surprised he didn't use that potion of healing. One more tick from a Shadow Strike would have taken down that Archmage. So he either A, professionally timed that Shadow Strike and knew that he was going to survive it, or B, just totally forgot about the fact that he had a potion of invulnerability and coincidentally survived it. Mountain King goes down again. And this is why I just love the Archmage, or I mean the Warden. The Warden is just insanely good. Everybody uses the Demon Hunter, which honestly is a very good hero in itself. But whenever I see the Warden play, I just love it. I just can't help but to love the Warden. That Shadow Strike is just very satisfying to use. Every time you hit an enemy hero with it, and that little sound that it makes, and the damage ticking away, incredibly satisfying hero to use. Renegade Wizard camp here going to go down shortly. Archmage wanting to absorb some of that experience and will town portal away, leaving the good Renegade Wizard there. Possibly to Foggy. Foggy's not interested. He is level 5 on the Warden, so he will not gain any experience from that camp. Could get the item, though, and could get some experience on the Panda Brewmaster, but it looks like he's definitely trying to just finish off this game. I think he definitely knows at this point he has the upper hand with his double expansions. And although Ze1ko does have an expansion, I think Foggy's situation is a little bit better at the moment. Gonna get shooed away by those militia. And I said Foggy's double expansion. It technically doesn't really have 2 expansions. This has a main base and 1 expansion, but you guys get the point. 2 gold mines going for both players, either way. Now level 6 Warden and a level 2 Panda. And now we'll be able to use Avatar, which is easily one of the, probably one of the best level 6 moves, ultimate in the game. Aside from Metamorphosis and a few others, of course. But the reason why Avatar is just so good is you just pop it, and it brings up all the Spirit of Vengeances, and those are all immune, so you can essentially just take down a ton of units for basically nothing, and without having to really risk the life of your hero or your units. You can take down buildings sometimes with them, take out peasant lines, things like that. It's just an overall really, really good ultimate. Unlike, say, a bad ultimate, whereas such as the Paladin's Resurrect, pretty bad. I mean, it's kind of good because you can resurrect your units, but pretty bad. And the Death Knight's Resurrect as well is also very bad, as all of those units can be dispelled or simply avoided very easily. And now Avatar Vengeance has been spawned and is looking to bring out all those spirits, and they all do 17 to 21 piercing damage, which is pretty good, including the Vengeance. Doesn't do too good of damage itself. Really, it's all about these spirits. And so they can just chase you around. There's basically nothing you can do about it. Just sort of have to back off. Elemental has been dispelled by all of the Dryads. And Spellbreaker's not taking too much damage here. All the Dryads going after the Mountain King instead. Mountain King taking a heap of damage. And the Brewmaster is going to go down. Good amount of experience for the Archmage and the Mountain King of Ze1ko. And we'll see if he Tavern revives that Panda quickly to get it back in this fight, because I really believe at this point Foggy has a huge advantage. Look at all of these Dryads, including this Spirit of Vengeance. Arcane Vault's going to go down. That will not last very long. Looks like a town portal all the way to the right side. So he has another Arcane Vault on the right side of the map. Picked up a Scroll of Regeneration there. And his main base not looking too good here. Does have one fortification, so that will hold up for a little while. I think like it's every few replays I do is always talk about fortification. Fortification is just such a good upgrade. Level 1 is pretty good, but once you get level 2 and 3, I usually never see people get level 3, but usually a lot of time it's just level 2 because people just have a keep and they rarely upgrade to a castle in a professional setting. So you can only get level 2. And if you had level 2, these buildings would go down much slower. That Arcane Vault would probably still be alive, probably just be going down now. So it gives you a little bit more time to react, to get yourself together, and to go after your opponent to some degree. Mountain King here in trouble. Where is that Stormbolt? And there's that Stormbolt, but the Mountain King not going to survive. 4 health, 31 health. Can he get out of there? This is so close, 29 health, and he loses. The Mountain King blinks away at 98 health. So another Mountain King defeat there. Mountain King just really can't get himself together this round. Just kind of came out at a late time, and you know, if you bring out a hero late against a Warden, honestly, they're just too low, and then the level 3... Level 3 Shadow Strike, that is. Really just eats up fresh heroes, level 1s through 3, just absolutely eats them up. And so the Mountain King not faring too well this game. Foggy's Ancient of Wonders here may go down. Going down here pretty slow. Just has Spellbreakers. They don't do too much damage. Water Elementals, however, will finish that off. Warden now level 7. Now going after the Archmage. Mountain King back in action. He has very low mana. Did Tavern revive that Mountain King. Does have a Potion of Healing still that he couldn't use the last time. He used a Potion of Healing, but then he actually had 2. And one was on cooldown in that last fight, so he couldn't use it again to save himself. And Warden now coming down. We'll take out that Priest here real quick. Doesn't really need to hit that again. The Shadow Strike will finish it off. And Warden right now in a bad position in terms of mana. Does have some Moon Juice laying around here, but for the most part does not have a lot of mana. And these Spellbreakers are definitely the key to taking out that Warden, and just trying to juice all of her mana with those Spellbreakers, and that way she can't be chucking around all of those Shadow Strikes that are so lethal to pretty much any hero. But this Mountain King, 950 health, but just can't really handle it. The Archmage probably even less.
The town is under siege.
But the Archmage at least is a little bit faster. And Stormbolt there on the Warden will do a surround, but Blink should be able to get out. No, doesn't have Blink though, because doesn't have enough mana. But manages to juke herself out there. Couldn't quite get that surround. And with that mana burn on those Spellbreakers, if they do get a surround, it's going to be very bad. However, Blink costs very little mana at higher levels, and thus would have to drain that Warden down to virtually no mana in order to stop her. Well played by Foggy, surviving that power rush in the beginning. Total score 94,000, so Ze1ko just suffered a ton of losses overall, and didn't really mind. I think he mined a little bit more resources with the top there, but the hero score was just tremendously higher. Unit score way higher for Foggy as well. So well played on both sides. And a level 7 to a level 3 to level 4 and 3 just couldn't keep those heroes alive for very long. And I think if you would have got maybe level 5 Mountain King, it would probably made a good difference on that Warden. That level 3 Stormbolt is quite fierce. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.